These statements about me are totally false.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson!
Michael Jackson!
King of pop himself. He's a genius.
Here he is again.
Strange behavior which threatened to leave the confines of the Neverland Ranch.
Sheriff's Department, we have a search warrant.
What 35-year-old man do you know that sleeps with little boys?
I could never do something like that. And they always want to stay with me. It's not sexual.
An arrest warrant has been issued for pop singer Michael Jackson.
Please keep an open mind and let me have my day in court.
The trial of Michael Jackson began on February 28, 2005, in the courthouse of Santa Maria, Santa Barbara.
And from Judge Rodney Melville, the 10-count child molestation and conspiracy indictment read with a list of 28 alleged overt acts, some involving booze and sex, graphically described.
Prosecutor Tom Sneddon opened proceedings by reading the full indictment against the pop star, outlining a sweeping set of charges.
You will hear the child himself describe how Michael Jackson inappropriately treated him in the privacy of Neverland Ranch.
The child Sneddon refers to is 15-year-old Gavin Arvizo. At the age of 10, Gavin contracted an aggressive form of cancer and was forced to undergo a serious operation to remove a large tumor from his stomach. When Jackson heard that a huge fan of his was recuperating in hospital, he sent a basket of toys and personally called Gavin. The youngster was surprised and delighted at the gesture in equal measure, and was even more shocked when he and his family were invited to visit Jackson at his home, the Neverland Ranch.
Not sick at all. No more cancer. Almost. All gone.
I'm not studying you.
All gone. When they told him he was going to die. Isn't that great?
Prosecutor Tom Sneddon alleged that, following the broadcast of the Living with Michael Jackson documentary in early 2003, Jackson and several associates conspired to isolate the Arvizo family at Neverland Ranch, prevent them from speaking publicly, and pressure them into filming a rebuttal video to defend the singer's image. The opening statement detailed claims that Jackson served alcohol, referred to as Jesus juice, to underage boys.
On a flight back to Neverland Ranch, Michael Jackson gave the boy an alcoholic drink hidden in a soda can and told him not to tell anyone.
Sneddon also said that Jackson showed boys explicit material and engaged in inappropriate physical conduct, arguing that these acts were part of a calculated effort to manipulate and control the Arvizo family, setting the stage for the prosecution's case. But this wasn't the first time Michael Jackson was the subject of such allegations.
I am doing well and I am strong. There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected.
In 1993, Michael Jackson was the most famous entertainer on earth. But that same year, he was accused of being a child predator for the first time, a scandal that nearly destroyed him. In February 1993, Jackson's car broke down and was towed to a rental garage owned by David Schwartz. Schwartz's wife, June Chandler, brought her 13-year-old son, Jordan, to meet Michael Jackson. Michael bonded with Jordan instantly, and soon he was calling the family daily, visiting their home and inviting Jordan, his sister, and his mother to Neverland Ranch. Jackson flew them to Las Vegas, Florida, even Monaco for the World Music Awards. At first, Jordan's father, Evan Chandler, a dentist and Hollywood screenwriter, encouraged the friendship. But as Jordan spent less time with him, Evan became jealous and suspicious. On August 2nd, Chandler extracted one of Jordan's teeth. While Jordan was under the effects of Amytal, a sedative with hypnotic properties, Evan asked him if Jackson had ever touched him inappropriately. Jordan said yes. Immediately after that, Evan and his lawyer demanded $20 million from Jackson to make the problem go away. Jackson's team countered with much smaller offers, $1 million, then $350,000, but Evan refused. Negotiations collapsed. Evan then took Jordan to a psychiatrist. Off the drug, in a formal interview, Jordan accused Jackson of months of sexual abuse and gave graphic descriptions, even claiming he could identify Jackson's private anatomy. This statement triggered the full-scale police investigation.
While the case has made tabloid headlines worldwide, few concrete details have emerged. The boy involved in the case is at the center of a custody suit in Los Angeles. His father, a Beverly Hills dentist, is seeking in court to keep him away from Jackson. His mother's lawyer says she knew nothing about any alleged misbehavior before police contacted her. As we reported, Jackson's spokesman says the investigation will find no wrongdoing. A private detective who works for Jackson says police became involved after the superstar refused to pay $20 million to unspecified blackmailers.
Police launched a massive probe, searching Neverland and Jackson's homes. 30 children who had stayed with Jackson were interviewed, but all denied any abuse. There was no physical evidence.
This week, the Jackson family stood divided as the comments about Michael Jackson continued. An emotionally charged LaToya had this to say.
I must tell you that this is very difficult for me, that Michael is my brother. I love him a great deal, but I cannot and I will not be a silent collaborator of his crimes against small innocent children. I have seen checks payable to the parents of these children. And I've seen these checks through my mother. She's shown me these checks that Michael had written to these children, and it's for a great amount. And I'm not speaking pennies. The sums are very, very large amounts. And this is my first time talking about it, and I never want to speak about it. I never want to say anything about it. But I think it's sad because I am a victim myself, and I know what it feels like. And these kids are going to be scarred for the rest of their life. I do know that he would have boys over all the time. One, of course, and they would stay in the room for days. Then they would come out, and then there would be another boy, and he would bring someone else, but never two at a time or anything like that. Let me ask you a question. What 35-year-old man do you know that sleeps with little boys and stays with them for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and sleep in the same bed? I'm asking you this question because this is a valid question. It's very open. Because most people would say, well, this is totally wrong. It's totally unfair.
Yeah, most people might.
You know, what you have to remember is that Jordy, I do not know this kid. I have never met this kid. I know nothing about him. But at the same time, I feel bad for him, and no one's caring about Jordy.
No, they're just trying to destroy his character, I think. Make him look bad.
Michael lives in a fantasy world, so maybe he did do something and thinks that he's untouchable.
They know he's popular, he got a lot of money. Ain't nothing but a big rat or something.
This man is going to be humiliated beyond belief. He will not believe it. He will not believe what's going to happen. Yeah. Beyond his worst nightmares. Sell one more record. This attorney I found, I interviewed several, and I picked the nastiest son of a bitch I could find. Once I make that phone call, this guy is just going to destroy everybody in sight. Any devious, nasty, cruel way that he can do it. And I've given him full authority to do that. It'll be a massacre if I don't get what I want. If I go through with this, I win big time. I will get everything I want, and they will be destroyed forever. They will be destroyed. June is going to lose Jordy. She will have no right to ever see him again. Yeah. That's a fact, Dave. That's what's going to happen. Does that help? Michael's career will be over. Does that help Jordy? Michael's career will be over. And does that help Jordy? It's irrelevant to me.
Mr. Jackson, do you want to say anything to your fans?
Los Angeles police say there's insufficient evidence to lay formal charges.
Michael Jackson has abandoned his dangerous tour. Jackson issued a statement saying the pressure resulting from what he called false allegations, coupled with the energy necessary to perform on stage, left him exhausted, and he became dependent on painkillers.
He is not hiding out. He's not fleeing from anything.
So I think it's very, very suspicious that the day before he's ready to go to U.S. soil in Puerto Rico, he pulls up and goes in the middle of the night secretly to some foreign location.
A current affair caught Liz Taylor sneaking Michael out of Mexico City last week as a London newspaper printed an alleged eyewitness account of Michael's treatment.
In this article, the Sun goes into great detail about the alleged treatment Jackson is supposedly receiving at this clinic. They say that he's got 5 bodyguards with him, 2 24-hour-a-day nurses. He's under constant care. They're saying that he's being fed Valium through his hand in a kind of a tube.
Headline writers have had an easy time picking over the Jackson story, but it hasn't been a moonwalk on the photo editor's desk. no pictures of Michael have surfaced yet. 2 British tabloids are offering rewards for Jacko's sightings. The Mirror, all his albums. The Sun, where he's usually Wacko Jacko, will pay £10,000, $15,000 for a new picture of Jackson.
Michael Jackson remains in hiding. All reports that he's in Canada, or France, or Switzerland remain completely unsubstantiated.
The DA demands to know where he is. Police want to know whether he's changing his appearance.
I am doing well and I am strong. As you may already know, after my tour ended, I remain out of the country undergoing treatment for a dependency on pain medication. This medication was initially prescribed to see the excruciating pain that I was suffering after recent reconstructive surgery on my scalp. There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected. I shall not in this statement respond to all of the false allegations being made against me, since my lawyers have advised me that this is not the proper forum in which to do that. I will say that I am particularly upset by the handling of this mass matter by the incredible, terrible mass media. At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions. I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent. I have been forced to submit to a dehumanizing and humiliating examination by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department and the Los Angeles Police Department earlier this week. They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. They were supposedly looking for any discoloration, spotting, blotches, or other evidence of a skin color disorder called vitiligo, which I have previously spoken about. The warrant also directed me to cooperate in any examination of my body by their physician to determine the condition of my skin, including whether I have vitiligo or any other skin disorder. The warrant further stated that I had no right to refuse the examination or photographs, and if I failed to cooperate with them, they would introduce that refusal at any trial as an indication of my guilt. The parties involved were still not satisfied and wanted to take even more pictures. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it. Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. It is of loving children of all ages and races. It is of gaining sheer joy from seeing children with their innocent and smiling faces. It is of enjoying through them the childhood that I missed myself. Thank you very much for all of your support. Together, we will see this through to the very end.
In January 1994, Jackson settled the civil lawsuit for around $23 million. He insisted it was not an admission of guilt.
The resolution of this case is in no way an admission of guilt by Michael Jackson.
Behind the closed doors of a judge's chambers, the drama drew to an abrupt close.
The plaintiff has agreed the lawsuit should be resolved, and it will be dismissed in the near future.
If you have enough money, can you buy your way out of any sort of trouble?
After being paid, the Chandlers stopped cooperating. Prosecutors had no case. After 13 months and 2 grand juries, no charges were filed, but the damage was done. Jackson's image never fully recovered, and the allegations would haunt him for the rest of his life. Just 2 years later, Jackson was deposed to speak about a multitude of legal issues, from financial misdemeanors to the allegations of improper behavior. and his 1993 allegations were still firmly on the minds of his interrogators.
There were some allegations leveled at you concerning improper conduct with some young boys. I assume you're familiar with the fact that those allegations were raised. Is that right?
Yes.
Are you familiar with a person named Jordy Chandler?
We're not going there. Don't answer. We're not going to get into who he knows and doesn't know.
Let me just make sure my understanding is clear. Is it your position that you will instruct Mr. Jackson not to answer any questions that pertain to the issue of Jordy Chandler in any way, whether it be claims leveled by Jordy Chandler, if any, or discovery in the Jordy Chandler case vis-a-vis Adrienne McManus's deposition and allegations that she testified falsely? Any of that you're not going to let him go into?
That's right. I believe that's correct.
Were you ever accused of having sexually molested Brett Barnes?
Won't answer that.
Were you ever accused of having sexually molested Macaulay?
That's an instruction not to answer on that one.
Despite the hit to his commercial deals and a wave of sensational books and articles that Jackson challenged in court for defamation,
a jury has awarded Michael Jackson a whopping $2.7 million for a defamation lawsuit he filed against freelance writer Victor Gutierrez.
the original investigation eventually went cold, and no federal charges were brought at that time. However, law enforcement didn't simply move on. Police and the FBI continued to maintain case files on Jackson throughout the late 1990s and into the early 2000s. This continued scrutiny came to a head on November 18th, 2003,
How you doing? Sheriff's Department, we have a search warrant?
when authorities raided Neverland Ranch as part of a new investigation. Shortly afterward, prosecutors charged Jackson with 7 felony counts relating to alleged misconduct involving Gavin Arvizo, along with 2 additional counts alleging he provided Gavin with an intoxicating substance in connection with those allegations.
My workers told me, they said, Michael, don't go in your room. They were crying on the phone, my employees. They said, if you saw your room, you would cry. I have stairs that go up to my bed. And they said, you can't even get up the stairs. The room is totally trashed. And they had 80 policemen in this room, 80 policemen in one bedroom. That's really overdoing it. And they took knives and cut open my mattresses with knives.
What is your response to the allegations that were brought by the district attorney in Santa Barbara that you molested this boy?
Totally false. I would never hurt a child. These are totally false. I was outraged. I could never do something like that.
This is a kid you knew?
Yes.
How would you characterize your relationship with this boy?
I've helped many, many, many children, thousands of children. Cancer kids, leukemia kids. This is one of many. When I first saw him, he was totally bald-headed, white as snow from the chemotherapy, very bony, looked anorexic, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. And he was so weak, I would have to carry him from the house to the game room or push him in a wheelchair to try to give him a childhood, a life, because I felt bad, because I never had that chance too as a child, and so I know it felt like in that way, not being sick, but not having had a childhood. It has to do with money. It's Michael Jackson, look what we have here, we get money out of this. That's exactly what happened.
On day 2 of Michael Jackson's 2005 trial for the allegations made by Gavin Arvizo and family, the prosecution called Martin Bashir as its first witness, the British journalist who spent time with Michael Jackson for his documentary, Living with Michael Jackson. Bashir didn't reveal much. He was mainly there to provide kudos to the prosecution's main piece of evidence, the documentary itself.
Why can't you share your bed? Whenever kids come here, they always want to stay with me.
Prosecutors argued that the footage and Jackson's statements about his sleepovers demonstrated a pattern of behavior and a disregard for appropriate boundaries, but there was no actual concrete proof of an offense contained within, and the prosecution relied on the documentary as its main evidence.
Kieran Culkin would sleep on this side. Macaulay Culkin's on this side. I have all that footage.
But is that right, Michael?
It's very right. It's very loving. That's what the world needs now. More love. More.
The world needs
a
man who's 44 sleeping in a bed with children.
No, you're making it all.
The trial lasted 63 days. More than 140 witnesses took the stand. But when you cut through the media frenzy, the screaming crowds, and the tabloid headlines, the case came down to two core questions. Was there credible evidence of abuse?
I watched him deteriorate physically and emotionally during the trial. He lost weight, his cheeks became more sunken in.
And did the Arvizo family's story hold up under scrutiny? The prosecution painted Neverland as a place without boundaries, where Jackson allegedly served alcohol to minors and sought emotional dependence from young fans. But when the defense took over, Jackson's attorney, Thomas Mesereau, dismantled the narrative piece by piece.
What do you make of what's your assessment of the performance of the prosecution in the courtroom?
They were extremely aggressive and extremely prepared and very determined. I think their biggest problem was they were not objective about their case. They believed things they wanted to believe. They tried to prove theories that were absurd, and they tried to demonize Michael Jackson in a way which looked absolutely ridiculous when you really took a close look at the evidence. And they went way over the edge, and it hurt them.
He reminded the jury that the Arvizo family had a documented history of making financial claims against celebrities and organizations. Both Jay Leno and Chris Tucker testified they had been contacted by the family when Gavin was sick, with Gavin even leaving messages claiming they were his hero. The Arvizos also had sued JCPenney, claiming mall security assaulted them. They received a settlement of around $152,000. Later, Gavin's mother admitted under oath that parts of her sworn statement were false, including claiming assault that did not occur. Mesereau highlighted contradictions in witness statements, inconsistencies in timelines, and changes in Gavin's own testimony across interviews. He called Macaulay Culkin, Brett Barnes, and others who spent time at Neverland as children. Each testified that Jackson had never acted inappropriately with them, and crucially, no physical evidence was ever produced. No incriminating material was found in the Neverland raids. No computer records, no eyewitness confirmations. The prosecution relied on implication and character framing. The idea that Jackson's unusual lifestyle must mean something was wrong. The defense argued that unusual is not the same as criminal, and in law, accusations must be proven, not presumed. After 32 hours of deliberation, the jury returned.
Here we go, Jane. This is the audio feed from the court.
Superior Court of the State of California for the County of Santa Barbara, Santa Maria Division, the people of the State of California plaintiff versus Michael Joe Jackson defendant, case number 1133603, count 1, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of conspiracy as charged in count 1 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, foreperson number 80. Count 2, verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 2 of the indictment.
Did anyone of you ever think guilty?
That came up quite a bit, but after weighing the evidence and lack of, we realized that there wasn't enough evidence there to prosecute him.
I wanted to ask about the mother, and you, Ms. Cook, specifically talked about her. You said at one point that she was sort of waving her finger at you.
And she snapped.
Tell me what she did.
Just like that, and you don't snap your fingers at a jury, you snap your fingers to get a dogs to mind you.
She would look at the jury and snap her fingers and say, you know, this is the way it should be.
And right in our faces.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was very intimidating because I was directly, Mike and I were directly across from the witnesses. And she would turn right to us like she's just you know.
But Melissa, what did that say to you? I mean, apart from how it made you feel, what did that say to you about who she was and the testimony she gave?
Her testimony, a lot of the parts of her testimony, I wanted to just break out laughing, but I couldn't.
Michael Jackson was found not guilty on all charges. But even with acquittal, something had changed. The trial was a public unraveling, international ridicule, nightly news panels, a global spectacle. Jackson felt betrayed, exposed, and emotionally exhausted. Within weeks, he left Neverland behind. He would never live there again. Michael Jackson retreated from the spotlight until announcing a final tour in 2009 in hope of resurrecting his finances.
Yes, sir, I need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir. We have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not okay.
He died just 3 weeks before the proposed opening night. His legacy and career forever tarnished by the 2005 trial and abuse allegations. What do you think? Leave a comment below whether you believe MJ was guilty or innocent.